Hey there, your girl Randomly Ran here. Today I want to have a little conversation about something that I've been seeing on YouTube lately. And it's about creators who are out of touch or forgetting where they come from. And I've seen a few videos, and I'll try to tag all the ones that I've seen down in the comments so you can go and see it yourself, so you can get some insight into the conversation that I'm wanting to have today. Of course, I am your neurodivergent, ADHD, that's autistic, ASD1 and ADHD, temporary everything influencer. I just follow the dopamine. Whatever makes me happy, and that's what I want to talk about, and that's that. So thank you for connecting here with me, because if you are connected here for me, that means you are like me. And hello. Wait, how do I do it? Is that something? I don't know. Wait, somebody do it and send me a picture and tell me how we do that thing right there. I'm not trying to claim no sets. I think that I'm trying to do the sci-fi things. So I just want to be clear on that. I'm not trying to claim any sets. All right. So now the conversation I'm seeing about influencers being out of touch or have forgotten where they come from, or no longer resonating with their audience. Because honestly, that's the bottom line. They're no longer jiving with the people who got them where they were. And I see, in my opinion, a lot of negative commentary about that. Maybe one or two devil's advocate type things that came out that I'm there for. I love their perspective on it as well. And so I just wanted to, because I've studied business for a very long time, and just by nature I've become an avid understanding of people's psychology, because the way my autism is set up, I have great pattern recognition. And so I tend to a gauge on how people act and react, and why people do things, why they want to do things, why they should and why they shouldn't. Make sense? So I just wanted to bring that to you today so we can have that conversation. If you like conversations that actually break things down instead of just reacting to them, then this is the place for you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and so you can get the notifications every time I drop something new, because that's what we're going to be doing here. We're conversing. We're not just reacting. We are having the conversation so we can gain an understanding from everyone's perspective. So now, one thing about being a content creator is it's a lot of invisible labor. When this started happening, or when content creation came a thing, let me tell you, it's always been a thing. This is not something that's new that just came with the internet. It just had a name for lay people who are not in the media industry, to just grab their phone and do it. I was in radio, and as a radio producer and a radio personality, I was a content creator. Actually, radio DJs are one of the first influencers. Celebrities were first influencers. We thought they had a lot of money. We thought that they were balling, when in actuality, brands were approaching these people and say, hey, try this, try like that, and tell your people about it. I see you got a lot of influence with them. That right there is that's how it all started. So content creation, or being an influencer, did not start with just random people with the phone and the internet. It started way before then. It just had another name. It was just celebrity. And they bamboozled us by letting us think that these individuals had something, that they were something to aspire to. Something about human psychology. We like things that we can aspire to become. Whether you know that or not, whether you know that that's why you were tuning in. For me, it was Claire Huxtable growing up. Claire Huxtable was who I wanted to be. They casted this black woman who was bilingual and professional, and can sing and can dance, and had a happy marriage and had a big family. And she was functional in all of her environments, and she was useful in all of her environments. And that drove me psychologically to what I wanted to be. I learned Spanish at an early age. Now, don't ask me to have a full-fledged conversation, because I'm not always in an arena to practice. So it doesn't stick with me, but I know how to, ¿dónde es el baño? I know that. Where's the bathroom? Okay. ¿Dónde es el restaurante? I know that. Where's the restaurant? I need to eat. So I know those things, and I was influenced by Claire Huxtable to want to be a professional, intelligent, articulate Black woman with a large family and a husband that I loved. So studios threw a lot of money behind this. In the early days of MGM, a lot of people don't know this. There's this great movie called Babylon, came out a few years ago, that actually depicts this, where the studios were like death row labels. It was like you signed for Suge Knight. They own you. If you watch the stories of Marilyn Monroe, Julie, oh shoot, come on, the girl from Wizard of Oz. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I want to say Dorothy Dandridge, but yes, her, but not her in that what I'm talking about. But the girl from the Wizard of Oz. If you go back and watch documentaries about these people, they were owned by the studios, and they were enforced to keep an image to make the studios money. Marilyn Monroe was America's sex kitten, right? They needed her to always be desirable for men. And she became that. She personified that. And she was an intelligent businesswoman. Do not get Miss Marilyn twisted. She was an intelligent businesswoman. She understood there was a differentiation between the persona that she sold y'all and the persona that and who she actually was. They were not the same person. And she was quick to always delineate between that. So I say all that to say content creation is work. It's a lot of invisible labor. And most of the invisible labor comes in the form of not letting you guys see how much work it actually is. It looks easy. It looks effortless. It looks flawless. It's like watching Beyonce doing her, one of my favorite ones. I lose all my thoughts when I sit down and do this. But Beyonce doing, baby, all I want is to let it go. There's no worry, no, we can dance all night. Get Me Bodied. That's the song. Get Me Bodied. When you watch Beyonce sing and do Get Me Bodied, it make you feel like, or anything that she does, you watch her and it looks so freaking effortless, and you're like, oh, I can do that too, until you try. And you realize that your voice ain't voicing and your knees ain't kneeing. When they say drop down low, just sweep the flow with it. We can't sweep the flow. We're not sweeping the flow. And if we are sweeping the flow, it's because other parts of us are sagging. It's not that our knees allowed that to happen. But Beyonce makes it look easy. That's because all the work she puts in it. That's the work ethic that she has, the attention to detail. That's what content creation is. If you're going to do it, and if you're going to do it well, you have to be able to not only articulate your own thoughts in a room that nobody else is in, as if someone else is here. First, number one. Number two, you have to go so far as to capturing it on the video to make it portray the idea that you want the end user to see. Number two. Number three is the editing. And let me tell you something. Until AI, editing was the worst part. As a person who edited podcasts and worked in radio and had to edit audio and podcasts, oh my God, it could be so tedious, so time consuming. Especially if you're the one who said it and wrote it, you know what you said. So you're not listening to it while you're editing going, ooh, that's deep. You're like, I'm sick of hearing this line. I've heard it for the last 30 minutes. I'm sick of watching it. I don't want to. So you go into editing to make that thing palatable. And let's not even mention all of the different best practices based on which platform you're going to use. All kind of stuff that goes into content creation that we don't see. So that's the first part I want to share, because that part is pivotal into understanding the job of a content creator. And let me say this is not to drag anybody, and this is not for or against the audience or content creators. This is just to show things from two different perspectives and show that, yes, the audience does have a right to view the people who they naturally gravitate to or who more resonates with them. But also the content creator, I think they have a right to their ends. I think they have a right to glow up. I think they do. Because, and I'm not speaking as somebody who's making thousands of dollars as a content creator. Listen, this is grassroots right here. Ain't no money behind this. This is me. All I need is one mic That's the situation I'm on right now. I got one camera, one ring light, and I'm sitting on my bed with the wall behind me trying to do this thing. I'm not making money from this, so I just want to preface with that too. This is not against anybody. This is not to drag anybody, and I'm definitely not getting paid to say this. I'm just taking a deeper look from both the consumer and the creator side. So check this out. Say you have a friend, you and your friend, you guys work together, right? And your friend says, hey sis, listen, I just noticed that this job position came open. Y'all work at the same company, and I want to apply for it. And you're like, do it, sis. You'll be so good, sis. Right? And sis, do it. Sis, apply for the job. Sis, get the job. All of a sudden, sis don't have the same lunch break with you anymore. Or even if she does, she's always with the other supervisors and managers because sis has leveled up in that space. And you're like, sis is now dressing differently. She can't interact with you at work the way you used to. Y'all used to clown, crack jokes, all in the break room. But now sis is seen laughing, talking, cracking jokes with the other managers or supervisors. It's just the interaction is just not what it was. You don't go out to drinks after work. You used to, just all kind of stuff that has changed. And then you feel some kind of way because she changed. She forgot where she came from. And if you ever had an experience like that where a friend has gotten a promotion and it seemed like they switched up on you, let me know in the comments how that was for you. Now, what we have to understand is things called ecosystems, right? Ecosystems are where things live and thrive, for just a simplified definition, right? So sis became a supervisor or a manager. Her ecosystem has changed. You are still a regular employee. Nothing's wrong with her glow up. Nothing is wrong with you having your position. However, what you guys need to do to survive your individual ecosystems have changed. Okay? So you can still stay on the floor and do what you do. They're not expecting you to show up early. They're not expecting you to stay late. They're not asking you to reprimand other employees. They're not asking you for paperwork. You literally go there, clock in, do your job, clock out, and go home. Sis got a whole new set of responsibilities now. Sis is responsible for turning in certain numbers and metrics and data. Sis is responsible for maybe her sphere of employees and how they perform. Sis has a whole another set of obligations that you don't have, and a standard that she has to hold. So y'all can't even really relate to each other anymore, right? Because at first, when she was just a employee like you, yes, you could relate. Y'all can't stand the supervisor. Why they gotta stay late? Why they don't do this? Why they don't do that? Well, now sis is in a position where she understands all the whys behind the whats. And she's not necessarily at liberty to tell you these things. So you guys are in two different ecosystems. For her to survive her ecosystem, she needs to follow the rules of that ecosystem. And so do you. So that made me no fraternizing on the level. So she probably can't interact with you at work the way she used to, because somebody may see that and say it's just favoritism. Now her job is in jeopardy. You know what you gonna do, sis? Lose her job? Can you pay sis bills? Can you pay sis rent? Can you do any of those things? No. Y'all might be tight as all get out, but cash is king. And so unless you have the ability to provide what she would lose from doing what's necessary to make you feel comfortable, make you feel like anything has changed, it's kind of unfair to ask that. And one more analogy that I want to give you guys, and I just want to keep in mind, I'm not calling anybody an eagle. I'm not calling anybody a chicken. I'm not saying that either of these birds are the wrong birds to be. What I am saying is that they are two different birds, right? You don't see eagles and chickens kicking it. Why? I'm going to tell you why. An eagle is a natural predator. An eagle must maintain a certain altitude in order to survive. That's where they eat at. That's why they have their talons, that they can catch a little baby goat, have their dinner and whatnot. Well, chickens are flightless birds. Listen, don't ask me why the eagle have evolved to have to be way up there and the chickens have evolved to stay on the ground. I don't know. I didn't do it. I'm not God. But I can tell you this, they have. That's just what happened, right? So it would be unfair to tell the eagle, well, you think you're all of that because you're way up there. You should be down here with me. And the eagle's like, I can't survive off of worms and corn, bro. Why you want me to I can't eat that. And vice versa for the only reason, if an eagle is about to get you and take you where they at, oh, you about to be dinner. That's it. That's just the reality of it. If an eagle come grab a chicken and say, hey, bro, let's come hang out up here. You know what I'm saying? You about to be dinner. Listen, that sounds like listen, this is all I'm going to say about this, but that remind me of a Diddy situation, right? They used to send Diddy people in with the hat in the clubs to go get in a certain person. And when that certain person went to Diddy house, once they climbed that altitude, they got some things they weren't ready for. I'm just saying. So I'm not saying that either up there or down here is better. All I'm saying is in either space, that you cannot be effectively accommodated there. You will die or be eaten or starve, because that's how ecosystems work. All right. So with that being said, I think it's equally as unfair to tell a creator who has put the time and the effort and the discipline into creating that channel, and they have gotten certain brand deals and recognitions and they receive certain things, to say, oh, you forgot who you are. Well, who wants to remember what it was like to not pay bills? I don't know what else to say. Listen, you can take the girl out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the girl. Not completely anyway. I'm the girl that we're talking about. And let me tell you something. I blow up today or tomorrow and get the money that I need. I may not get on here doing Louis Vuitton unboxings, but there will be signs. There will be signs. I'm not going to lie to you, because once my lifestyle changes, once I get the opportunity to live above a certain level, I will. And you would too. And so I think it's a little unfair to say that, oh, they forgot where they came from, or all the things that we say about people who level up. Now, it may not be fair to expect them to fake the funk, because remember, you liked them because of their authenticity on the level that they were. So why would you want them to fake the funk now? Let me tell you what you do have the right to do, though, is to connect with the creator that resonates to you where you are. It's okay if that creator is no longer for you and you have to find someone else. That's perfectly fine. You have that right to say, I would like to listen, sis, you unboxing diamonds every other day makes my nerves bad. I can't watch that, because meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out how to eat or feed my kids. That's perfectly valid. You are not wrong to think or feel that way, and that you would like to see more things about how you can survive now, side hustles and things like that. You're not really interested in a creator's week-long vacations every week. It's kind of like gentrification, right? You want to know what makes gentrification so bad? Is there are people on the outside looking in that looks at a space and say, hey, I want to bring all of these high-end stores to this area. We're going to redevelop the stores, but they put nothing in place for the people who live there. Because the people who live there are normally low income. They're not in the economic status to survive in what we're trying to build on top of them. And that's essentially what happens when you have a creator that does level up in finances and brand deals or other things like that, and continues to try to cater to the same audience that built them up. Now, if you're going to cater to them, and this is for the influencer. So from a business standpoint, whether we want to believe it or not, you do own a business. This is a business. So it is your responsibility to understand who you're catering to. Now, you may have started out with one group of people, but of course, when you're pulling your number, your metrics, and all those other things, if you are looking at those things, you know what your people are resonating to before they get loud enough to say it, because the numbers show it. If your drop-off point of your unboxing video is as soon as you start unboxing it, that means they don't want to see it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see it. If you know that. So with that being said, now you have a choice here. You have a choice to either, I'm going to say, maybe fake the funk and attempt to go back to creating content and influencing the way you were. But chances are you don't want to, because that was probably birthed out of a struggle. All right. But the second thing you can do is now cater yourself to the audience that you would like. I've seen many creators do this where they start at a certain level, they're documenting their processes all the way up until then, and now they've reached, ascertained a level of comfortability in their life where they can create full time and they want to live a different way than that they were living before. They open masterminds and inner circles to say, hey, I've done this, now let me teach you, because ain't this fun? Because isn't it fun when your friends could play along too? I don't know about anybody else, but in my glow up, I want my people to glow up with me, because I want us to be doing this stuff together. It's lonely at the top. And so that's what some creators have done. They have evolved their business to now bring other people in their audience up to the level of where they are, or they're completely switched. But again, most of us, we don't want to fake the funk. I wasn't faking the funk then. Why would I fake the funk now? Why would I pretend to be struggling when I'm not? So I think that's something that we have to consider whenever we're critiquing influencers about the success that they have acquired from the work that they have done, for the image that they have built, for the reputation they have built, if it is good. And if it no longer works for you, great. And what I'm going to say is, I actually want to follow influencers that have aspirations and ambitions. And I like seeing glow ups, in my personal opinion. I cheer for glow ups. Listen, I was Blue Ivy's #1 auntie. You understand me? I was not at Now concert, but you couldn't tell me that with my niece. You couldn't tell me Blue Ivy was my niece, because I was just so happy to see her grow and her evolution. And that's how I am about all my people, whether they influencers on TV or whatever. I watch Chris Brown dance and I'm like, yeah, Chris, you can't tell me that's not my little brother. I'm 41. I saw his career. I saw the ups and the downs and the highs. So it makes me happy to see that black boy joy. That's me. And it's perfectly okay to say, listen, I just want to see people survive through where I am right now, because that's what I'm trying to get through. But also, as I said, it is up to the influencers as well to take a true assessment of their audience. What earned you that audience? What's keeping that audience? And how can you still be loyal to that audience? How do you still give back to the people who made you what you were? In other words. So I do think it's a very interesting time in social media, because there is the dawn of AI. And so people are afraid of that. And it's equally as an interesting time for creators too, because that gives us more ways to leverage our platforms. And that's not as labor intensive as it would be of doing everything ourselves. But we also have a consumer that is looking for more authenticity. They don't want to be duped or made to feel played with or made to feel stupid. We're also in an age where the influencer bubble is popping, because it has essentially made the have and the have-nots. Whether it's by money or even if you're just being sent high quality products to unbox all the time and selling to your audience. Even in that aspect, understanding that, is your audience in a place to have the discretionary funds to go and buy that perfume that you just unboxed? And you're doing this every week. And so maybe it's time to rethink that content strategy. Maybe you want to do that once a month, or mix it in with content that is, say, hey, if you don't have the money for this, they're calling it dupes, and that's up to them if they want to promote it. But there's other options. There's other ways around this for both the content creator and the audience. But at the end of the day, what's most powerful is when audience connects with authentic content creators, and you keep each other, you pour into each other. And I think that is most powerful, is if you choose who you want to ride with and ride with them. Understand? That's what makes the world go round. That's actually what's going to help a lot of the economic hardship that a lot of families are going through right now. If you are one of those creators who has influence that can get 50% off, really get things that will level up your audience, and your audience can maintain loyalty to you. That way y'all can ride through this together. I think that would be the most advantageous. But push come to shove, if you cannot continue to ride together, you both have your marching orders of what can be done. Audience can find new people, content creators can find new people, and you all can carry on. So with that being said, thank you guys so much. If you have watched up until this point, go ahead and drop a thumbs up in the comment and let me know what you feel about what I said. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'm all about respectful conversations in the comments and respectful feedback and constructive criticism, even alternative views. I dig that too. I love to hear more from you guys and tell me what you think. And at the very least, if you'd like to see more of these conversations, breakdowns, deep dive, and just me at pure ADHD, RDHD energy, please subscribe. Click the notification bell to get the notifications, and talk to you soon. Bye.